Love. It's supposed to be the safest place we run to. But for millions today, love has become a trap, a transaction, a weapon. We swipe, we trust, we believe. And then one day we wake up emotionally bankrupt, psychologically bruised, and asking ourselves, how did I not see it coming? In these episodes of Life, the Battlefield, we confront a growing epidemic, the illusion of love in digital age, and the predators who prey on hearts looking for connection. Cristina Davy joins me, not just as a businesswoman, but as a voice for women who loved hard, fallen fast, and risen stronger. Together we unpack the psychology of falling for the wrong person, the red flags we all ignore, and how the promise of love is being weaponized in a world that profits from our vulnerability. If you ever been ghosted, gaslit, or left asking, was any of it real? This episode is your mirror and your moment of clarity, because love shouldn't leave scars. But sometimes it's the pain that finally teaches us how to protect our hearts. This is Life, the Battlefield. Let's go dive in. Well, Cristina, welcome back to the studio, Life, the Battlefield.
Mario, it's a pleasure to be here, darling.
No, look, it's
so
just,
good.
I must say, look, I need to share this because before we start rolling with everything and anything, I want to say thank you for coming back, because you were one of my first guests when I started podcast. And the guys, those who don't know, I'm going to put in the comment section below the details of the first episode. And I want you to hear the journey of Cristina from Romania, revolutions and all these things to now. So what do you think about studio now?
Oh my God, look at this place. This is amazing. And what you have achieved in such a short time, Mario, is so inspiring. And I truly admire, your diligence, your determination. It takes so much commitment.
Thank you so much,
and
Cristina.
Courage.
But the podcast today is not about me, it's about you. But I said, it was unusual when we spoke that you come back. I said to myself, oh my God, I remember I had 2 chairs over there. And but the fact is that you gave me opportunity to start, interviewing you, even when I was a very, very little bit shy, with equipment, everything else. But Cristina, we are coming into the stage of our lives where more and more people deciding not to love, not to be in relationship. I don't say not to have the sex, but everybody tries to do something different. But I think that people are actually becoming more afraid to be in love. Now, today, you're the love coach, I call it, love doctor. First of all, I want to say, I congratulate you on having the balls to start your own business, because for many, many decades, the business was always been sort of reserved for the men, But being the woman in business has a lot of challenges. My question for you is, first one and foremost, I want that people learn from you, particularly women over there. You stopped doing 9 to 5. When was the moment when you said to yourself, enough of 9 to 5, I want to be my own boss? What fears did you experience when you started business?
I wanted to create impact for a long time. And I was looking for something that's mine. I remember being with my ex-husband, and I was looking for that something, and I didn't know what it was. So it wasn't until after my divorce that I experienced all the journey of ups and downs after the divorce, the emotional baggage that you come, the anger, the betrayal, the everything that I was going through, and then a toxic relationship that I realized I needed some help. And it was my own transformation that really determined me to impact others as well, help others, change their love life story. Many people are just protecting themselves right now. They don't want to hurt. And because they don't want to hurt, they decide not to be in relationships. And I want to be the person that helps them find the love that doesn't hurt.
Interesting.
And that's why I'm in this business. And it took a lot of courage. And I think my biggest fear was, what if I don't know what to do in the process? What if somebody comes to me with a problem that I might not have a solution for? But that doesn't exist, really.
Doesn't exist there. Look, you're very, very vocal on LinkedIn. I must say that itself, it's displaying the courage. I mean, the difference between courage and the bravery, it's the courage is require mental faculty. But you are showing this quite often on LinkedIn, that you're not afraid to challenge the life and business, and you're going to be upfront with everybody, what you're doing, how you're doing. I'm interested in one thing which you can share with our audience. Cristina Davy, what's the one battle nobody see it, nobody know about, can't read, can't hear it, you're facing, or you've maybe faced in past, that make you today who you are today? Because you are brave, I like you're a courageous woman, unapologetic, you're helping hundreds of people. But there must be at least one battle nobody saw that you fought. Is that maybe around your son?
For me, I think it's just keep going when it's getting hard. And I don't think it's just my problem. I think it's everyone's problem that's in a business or trying to do something meaningful. When it gets hard and you just want to quit.
Yeah.
This is just too hard, right? And that's what I get sometimes to that point, or this is just too hard. And especially when you have challenges, in your personal life, right? You are also a parent. You go through other situations in your personal life, and you got to keep going in your business as well, because it's how you what gives you, contributes to you being alive. So staying connected to why I'm here, sometimes it's hard.
If you could make the warning label, like a Achtung, baby. So, if you could write one warning label for people who are starting on business, what that would be? What warning would you give to everybody, anybody? And let's just say warning label. What Cristina Davy will say that?
No matter how hard it gets, if it's important to you, keep going. It doesn't change, because we will be facing difficulties, just like in a relationship.
Yes.
I think the idea that it's just going to get easy or easier, it's BS. Because the more you grow, the bigger the challenges. You solve some problems, but then you face different problems. Like when you're just alone in the business, right? You don't have to deal with staff problems, right? And then you grow and you have staff. You don't have to do all the little things, right? But then the problem is you got to manage your staff.
Correct.
Right? So the problems are always going to come, but how we relate to it makes a difference. So if this is important to you, don't you dare quit, because it's just a matter of learning how to get there. You can talk to someone. You can learn something new. Sometimes you just need practice.
Yes.
So keep going only if it's important to you. If you feel like this is what you're born to do, if you feel like this is what makes you feel alive and you're passionate about, and it speaks to you and it lifts you up. If it's not, then go and find something else that does.
Can I ask you something on that note? I said something from my personal experience, that I concluded that there are very few people, honest people, who's going to be in your life generally speaking, of myself, who are in my life even today on a path searching my success, they were with me. But there's a lot of people around had become very noisy in the past before I started cleaning. There was a lot of people who told me, don't do it, this is not for you, you'll fail, you embarrass yourself, list goes on, right? Would you agree with me that we should say thank you to those who told us to not to pursue our dreams, our goals, our dreams?
Yeah, they speak through their own values and their own needs. So they're not, most people that give us advice don't mean bad, their intentions are good. They're trying to protect us.
Intentions are good, yeah.
Protect us.
Protect us. Okay,
Right,
okay,
protect us.
okay.
Or sometimes there's also, I think for some, there's also like, hey, don't be taller or better than me. Like stay right here, down here where I am, right? But I think people mean well, but they don't realize that their values are their values. They're not our values. What we need, what we value, it's ours only. And then we act based on that. If somebody is scared and to put themselves out there and they want to, they value more security, right? Then they will not take a lot of action in their life. They will just do the 9 to 5, come home, do a bit of dinner, eat, have Netflix, have sex, and go to bed and start the next day again.
Okay, ask a question now when we talk about sex. Okay, because before we start going into dating life, what do you think from your point of view, like your professional experience, right? When the couples stop become intimate, when's the moment? Must be the moment in life when the couples stop being intimate, or maybe some for the birthdays, Christmas,
once a year,
New Year's Eve. Yeah. What is the? I want to ask as an expert because I'm very curious about this one. I say something from my experience. And the moment I realized in my past life, in relationships, even marriages, right? The moment we start kissing each other like a brother and sister, and the cheeks and the forehead, and the little lips, I say something's wrong. Something is becoming wrong, and I don't understand what has changed.
The polarity has changed. The polarity between the two of you, right? Yeah. So, but it starts way before you see the signs.
Please share with us when it's okay. Don't
it starts way
don't
before.
Laugh to me now. Just say it, everybody, guys. I want you to get this.
when sex stops, it stops when people feel unheard and unseen and unappreciated. So that's when it. So
okay.
But unfortunately, people don't know how to talk about it, so they keep stocking up emotions. They keep, not talking because they don't want conflict. They don't know how, or instead of sharing their experiences and what they feel, they end up criticizing or accusing the other person. And that shuts down the other person, and therefore now there's a gap. And if they don't know how to deal with the gap, with vulnerability and authenticity and owning, hey, I am creating this experience for me too. It's not just you, we are co-creating this. And really come out and say, hey, this is what I need more of you, for me to feel like close to you, to feel I need more quality time.
Okay,
for me to feel closer to you.
Quality time. Is that
I need to be heard. I need to be able to have an opinion here. So it starts way back, and then it's just stacking up, and then at one point you reach your breaking point and you go, this is it. No more sex for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you
no, because it's like
taking your power back, you feel powerless.
Yeah.
You feel powerless. There's nothing. People think they talk, I've been telling her or him, and it's not happening. Nothing is changing. That's it. I'm feeling powerless. I'm getting angry, and I'm going to take my power back. Boom. No more sex.
I like it, the way how you explain this. And one most important thing it is, while I listen to you, while the audience of Life the Battlefield, which I want to say thank you guys for supporting this podcast. You're the expert. You're not just any coach. You can demonstrate how things are done because people coming to you, you consulting them, you can hear them it's like a confession. I mean, not a church, but it's people come to you with not just I want the beautiful girl or man, but as well the previous experiences and everything else. But I want to ask before we move, I'm burning from desire. Recently, I was in Thailand a few weeks ago, and yet again, I'm witnessing something, but I can't explain, Cristina. So we have the power couple, called the power couple, right? From mid-20s to, as I said, mid-40s. They're both looking like the Greek, artist, the make them in a stone. Particularly guys, the guys look like Adonis, like a six-pack, all the muscles, the veins, they're looking like... But something's freaking wrong there because, first of all, I was there on a pool and, the sunbeds, and next to the pool going in 2, then go 1, it's Mario Bekes, Look like a perv, but I was a perv. Anyway, so what I'm witnessing in Dubai, in Thailand, in Singapore, so wherever I'm traveling, all these power couples around me, one thing I can't understand, they are together, but they're not together. They come together, and I'm expecting guy's going to bring like 10 liters of the oil. He's going to rub himself into her. Everybody does the oil for themselves or the sunscreen, have a cocktails, take the pictures, and everybody's on social media. Please explain to me, like a 5 years old, because I am 52 years old, and I can see that there's no connection, but they're together. So like, if you in a relationship with somebody, and you're not even a little bit intimate in public, where you can be on a pool, sort of like the oil, the sunscreen, the talking, little touching, the sex must be disaster as well. Or maybe I'm wrong, tell me.
Well, not necessarily.
What's happening? Not necessarily.
It's a great question, Mario. Most people don't realize that they have to put in things that lead to connection. So connection doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
There's certain ingredients that need to be put in order to feel connected to someone.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure. You're speaking of metaphorically. You need to put in.
So if we do live in times when we are easily distracted.
Yes,
it's true.
Yeah.
And we have choice, and because we have choice, we can easily just discount what's here and focus on what's over there. Because this is new. This is different, right? It's exciting. But not everybody understands that you have to do things to keep exciting, an exciting vibe into your relationship. Like if you have been together for 20 years, what are you doing exciting with your partner?
True, that is true.
That will allow you to connect and have fun. Like you can go for a pool game, mini golf. If you just go for dinner and sit down and talk, what are you going to talk about after 20 years? All your jokes,
Gossiping, yes.
Right? So you need to spend some time apart. And then when you come back together, it's got to be intentional. Like, hey, this is us time. And we are focused just on each other. So I do have some rules, for me in my relationship. Yeah. One is like, if we sit down at dinner, right, we're not on the phone. Or don't have the TV. I mean, we can have sometimes the TV on too. Yeah. But like, we are being present. When we're sharing a meal,
yes,
I'm sharing a meal with you to connect with you, to find out what's going on, to be present with you. And obviously we are enjoying the food as well,
yes,
right? So it is a bit of multitasking, but you're connecting over food. And this is a big thing for me. Like if I'm sitting at dinner and you sit there and I sit here and we're watching TV, what's even the point of having dinner together? The focus is not on each other. The focus is on what's happening on the TV. So I'll turn off the TV and be like, have you heard the news about, I don't know, what Trump did lately? And connect over a conversation like that.
You don't want to bring Donald Trump in your bed.
I know. It's probably
That'll
not
be
the best
disastrous
topic,
for the sex.
but
Yeah.
share something that allows you to connect. You know, share something about you, and ask how their day went. What happens is people start being seen,
Yeah.
but sitting with that presence,
Yeah.
sitting with, you know, intention, like, hey, I'm here to connect with you, I'm here to be fully with you. It's hard for some people, and we are not taught that. How did you grow up with sitting down at dinner, connecting, and, you know, like really?
My father will connect with me with the belt, you know. That's,
So
you know,
we
yeah,
are
but,
not really understanding the value of being present with someone, because we have so much happening, and we take each other, I really believe we take each other for granted, because well, she's right there, he's right there, and they will understand.
So that's how I see it. Because my question is, you're the business owner, and you helping so many people around you, like particularly to dating scene, love, and takes a lot of time and you know, the desire to help the people to find what they're looking for. But let's go start with one of the toughest questions. I was thinking myself, how I'm gonna ask you this one. Strong women. Let's just say, talk about you. That's a start. Talk about you, the business owner. You know, you're dealing with the people. You know, you have your son. And in my books, you're a strong woman because, you know, what I mean, you're doing quite a lot.
I am.
You know
I
what I mean?
feel strong, but
Yeah.
I can be soft too.
My question is, are there strong women intimidate men? Are the men, or better to put it this way, are the men intimidated by the strong women like yourself? You know what I mean? Successful mother, independent, you know what I mean? You don't take a BS, you know what I mean? All these things. Are the men intimidated with a strong woman?
I think they can. I do believe they can.
A plus.
Did I pass the test?
Yes, you are.
I do.
Yeah.
I do believe that men can be intimidated by a woman's success only if they're not successful themselves. You know, but what exactly are they intimidated by? Is it her presence? Is it her energy? Is it what she's owning? And that can come from a insecurity inside.
Yeah.
Right? Because a strong, independent woman can be intimidated by a man too. It's how we relate to the other person.
Okay.
I hear this all the time. Or would a man like him be interested in me? Or would a woman like her be interested in me? Or she's out of my league, or oh, he's out of my league. People put themselves in a pigeonhole themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I want to touch on the subject because I think it's a lot of people are saying, oh, I can't find someone good, you know, someone who is successful, someone who is present, someone who is, I don't know, whatever, like someone good for me, right?
Yeah.
But I will ask myself, why not? Where am I going? Where am I going to meet people? Where am I going I mean, the world is full of good people. If we are not finding them, we have certain blinds, which I call them beliefs,
Yes.
right? That are kind of in the way. We are filtering everyone around us through what we believe about the opposite sex. Men are not to be trusted, for example, or women are not to be trusted. So then my approach when I sit down and talk to someone will be completely different. How much would I let someone in? How much would I share about myself if I don't trust someone? If I fear rejection, how much will I put myself in places where I think I don't belong? If I don't think high about myself, would I put myself in a place where good people are hanging out? So we got to ask ourselves, how are we, the reason why are we intimidated? And sometimes, you know, with some women, and I have to bring this up too because it's important, this whole I don't need a man thing, oh my God. We
Look,
need to understand we are complementing beautifully together.
I agree with you, but you see, this is we live in that, in this present time where some certain groups, they try to declare some type of, independence or whatever they want to call this. But I remember in school, I learned in school, I was in communist country. School was teaching us to respect the women, particularly mothers. And then my mother, she will teach me how to respect, other women as well. You need to stand up in the bus, in a train. You need to help them with the baskets and everything else, with the bags.
Manners, yeah.
Yeah, open the door. Don't. So I don't know when we lost this essence of life that we, nobody teaches the younger generation how to respect, the women. But as you say, I see in the gym in Contra now that most of the guys actually avoiding the women, literally avoiding them because of the social media. They record themselves as they exercise and then they call the guy the creep, So nobody doesn't want to be in that video. And I saw in the gym, I witnessed a few times now, the girls would struggle being hit by weights or on weights or something happened. Nobody want to come to them because they don't want to be called as a creep. So let's talk about social media now. When we touch this, social media, it is connecting people. So why people choose Cristina, love coach, instead of Tinder? Why people choose you?
What Tinder is not really going to help you understand
Tinder
yourself.
or other applications.
Yeah. So Tinder is not going to help you understand yourself. You're going to go on. Tinder is a tool to meet other people. And people go in, have a quick look, and then they decide there's no one there and get out, right? But how do we decide there's no one there? What is it that we are really looking for? And can we really know just from a picture and
bio?
Yeah, with 500 words or characters that are in a bio. I keep telling people, I think we go in and we want a 10 out of 10. We want to just go in and find all this pool of people that are attractive and smart and successful and great and fantastic, and the two things that happen. Either we reach out to them and they don't reach back and that's rejection and it feels bad. So then, what's the point? Because I don't like this online dating sucks. I'm just going to get out. Or, we don't find these people, and then we think, there's just no good people out there.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen in relationships, are they just, this is what strikes me. If you look around, people that are in relationships, they're not always fantastically looking, successful, and... But
that's a bullshit of the Tinder.
You know what I mean? It's not like that. You meet someone who you end up in a relationship with someone who meets your needs. And you don't get that from a little profile on Tinder. You got to have a conversation with someone. So I always encourage people, hey,
that's a good one,
change your point of attraction. I talk a lot about this to my clients. Change your point of attraction. What do I mean is every single one of us has a certain point of attraction, something. If we really want to feel, if we miss feeling wanted and important, whoever comes around and makes us feel wanted and important will kind of be a match. We'll give them the time. And over time we can develop familiarity. Why are so many people in situationships? Because they are settling. Instead of staying alone and expose themselves, to a variety of different places so they can meet people, they just find someone, it's kind of warm, it's kind of nice, and they just stay there. But they know it's not the right person. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a situationship.
Yeah, that's correct there. No, I agree there.
So what's your point of attraction? So if your point of attraction is... I want someone really masculine and, all big muscles. And you keep going for these guys
Sorry.
like Mario.
Let's continue.
So if you go only for these guys, but you might overlook their emotional awareness. And then you keep having the same experience over and over because your point of attraction is like, oh, he's got to look a certain way, be tall, la da da. And then they are not able to really listen to you, make you feel important, make you feel heard. One of the most important things for a woman is to feel understood.
Why did you say women need to be
understood? And men are like, oh my
what's
God.
up with men? Like, it's like, you see, this is my predicament all my life. It's always women, you know, like I've been in couple relationships where I was being told, you know, first of all, like I couldn't understand that statement, don't let me get my mobile phone and a call is going to be 10 of them on door, right? I mean, you're not only one. I'm like, how do you have 10 guys to come to the first place, right? And secondly, I always hearing that conversations, that statement, like when the woman lost interest for you, doesn't want to talk to you, be aware. And I think myself like, what's up about us men? Like, can we, like, but, you know, I mean, it's always about women. But I understand this one because after all, I said, like, I congratulate every woman. I said this as a man. I will say this again with the full authority and credibility. Women are stronger than men in anything. We can lift more weight. We can go in a war, but that's it. Woman holds the house. Woman holds the family. Woman holds relationships, not men.
I think we're stronger in
No, I said this as somebody who's in a war. Like I said this, I saw.
Yeah.
Woman is going to lift a man.
I can see why, you know, you and I agree that a woman can carry a lot. But I really believe that we are strong in different ways, and it's time for all of us to recognize that and say it out loud. We don't have to be strong just in one way. We can be strong in many ways. And a man, it's strong. Look, I'm out of a relationship now, and I can feel the lack of support, you know, that I'm experiencing at the moment compared to when I was in a relationship. That man brought with him, you know, resourcefulness, solutions, support, you know, emotional support, right? And men love to be appreciated for it. Hey, if I'm bringing something, if you want to make a man, you know, stick around, you've got to make sure he feels respected, he feels appreciated and loved. You know, like this is really essential. He doesn't need the same things that
I want to disentable here what you're saying because, as you know, my son is 22 years old, and I mean, he lives different times now. Everything's online. And that's how he meets things online. And I was thinking myself, like, when did we lose that touch with, you know, human touch, you know, amongst each other, you know, attraction, seduction, you know, I mean, leading these things. Okay, maybe I'm a dinosaur, maybe I'm too old, maybe I don't understand. But online dating, it's taking more space and time from everybody rather than doing it in person. So I want to ask you as a love doctor, I know you just invented now, but love coach, and you put people in, how would you describe, what's your title? Love coach, yeah?
I'm a dating and breakup coach.
Dating and breakup coach.
Yeah, both of them. whichever one you go through, I've got you covered.
That's a good one. I need to make this in title. Say, okay, breakup coach. So what's the red flags you seeing as a love doctor, called the love doctor, love breaking coach, right? Dating and breakup coach. So what do you see as somebody who is dealing with the people, I mean real people, face to face? What do you see that most of people don't see red flags in online dating? Can you list some? What do you think that people don't see it in online dating? What red flags are there? But you remove as a...
The flow. Is there a flow between us?
Yes.
You know, because when you go online dating, you can have multiple conversations at once, right? You could be talking to 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 5, 10 people. So I
Don't
think
do this, guys, because some women have the 3 profiles. They're talking to you. They I know.
so. I think you gotta check on the flow. Is there a flow in conversation, and maintain that flow? You know, don't just observe it. There's no flow. Am I contributing to this flow, or am I waiting for the flow to just happen? Many people go online dating, but they have no idea how to message people. They have no idea how to take photos. You know, I mean, the whole like photo when you just put your head.
Yeah.
That's like, just what kind of photo is that? It doesn't tell anything to anyone, right? Like, so people take pictures without a shirt in the bathroom. I mean, that's like, what are you, 15? You know, like, what's that telling someone about you? You know, like, if you take a picture in the mirror in the bathroom, right? If you take a picture in a bedroom, in your bedroom, the only thing that they're gonna see about you is how your bedroom looks like. But it's not really telling a lot. What's that photo communicating to the other person about you, right? And then with the messages, people go into deep conversations too soon. You know, like really deep conversations. So there's no attraction. Let's just be clear on this. We do need first attraction. That's what keeps the carriage going, right? So we need the attraction, but the attraction doesn't have to be just physical. The attraction is through behavior a lot. So when we go online dating and we don't see behavior, the only thing we see is just what they send via message. There are not a lot of clues. It's just our imagination. We're just developing a story.
Yeah. Because I truly believe that people online, you know, and now I'm merging this with my full-time job, which is investigations. And, you know, I know a lot of people portraying online things. They're not. I think they had reputation of the, you know, I mean, having a very cunning men who are just there to make their money or whatever, have a sex, whatever it is, right? And you're absolutely right. I think that dating apps are the good. Like, I can't name who I was spoke with, but I was being told about, there's called the Bumble, there's called some other ones, which basically don't even need to communicate. It's like Ashley Madison in good old times, you know, extracurricular activities for married people in a relationship. And I think myself, what society we're living in? I mean, this is like, you know, become like a catalog, you know, gonna have a sex, you know, just gonna have a relationship. But people forgetting that when you go in a relationship, that relationship can hurt, as you say before, you know, I mean, if you don't talk to that person, if you don't know enough of this person. When you're in Romania, right, just ask you, or me back in Yugoslavia, for me, people knew it straight away second day. If I met a girl, her parents knew who I was because they knew who somebody know my parents, you know what I mean? How much money we don't have, how poor we are, how, you know, terrible person I am. So like, you know, background check was being done.
Yeah, because you are meeting only in your proximity. You're meeting people in your proximity.
Well, yeah, that's correct.
Right? So people will, like, where before online dating, we'll meet people at work, at school, or at a party.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know, but right now, online dating gives us access to people that are not in our circle.
Yeah.
Right? But that comes with another set of challenges. Everything has duality. There's something good and there's something bad. So we have access to all these people, but now all these people are strangers.
So who's the people who come to you? So let's go move now. Let's go move the up. They're going to come to you. What type of people come to you? Like, you need to say background on
people that haven't been in a relationship ever.
Ever?
Yes. People,
what do you mean, just like a 40-year-old virgin?
Well, no, I don't know if they're virgin or not, but you know, there are a lot of people that haven't been in a meaningful relationship, or for a long time, or ever.
Okay.
Yes, people who have had abusive relationships, people who have had unsuccessful relationship, obviously. People who are fed up with spinning their wheels, like, hey, this is important to me and I'm not getting there, so I want some help. What am I doing wrong, or what am I supposed to do different, right? So I get a lot of people that have also been really successful in every other area of their life, health-wise, business or career, and this is something that they don't feel confident about simply because of their past experiences. But they don't let past experiences put them down in their business or career, but in their love life, there's this big unknown. Think about it. We get hurt all the time. Somebody could say something, I don't know, at a traffic light, and it gets us in the wrong time, and we just feel hurt. We're not dying from it, but yet we're so scared not to be hurt in relationships. Yeah, but we forget in order to focus just on feeling hurt, you gotta exclude the fact that you also will be loved. Like in a relationship, you can be loved, respected, hurt, jealous, heard, unheard. It's not like a one way or another. You go through all sort of emotions based on it, like what's happening right now and how I know to relate.
With so much emotions.
I'm passionate about it because, look, I have recently been through a breakup myself, right? And I'm understanding why it happened, and I'm ready to move on, because what I desire, we were talking about this, what I desire the most for me and my son is a family. And why that's important to me is because in a family, we support each other. That's how I view family. We support each other. We understand each other. We are complementing each other. We go through ups and downs, but we are there for each other. We have each other backs, Life is better when it's shared. That's how I look at it. And because I know what I want and I'm clear, I'm processing my emotions from my breakup and then I'm moving on. I don't have to stay feeling hurt, angry, untrusting for a long time. Our emotions are not here to stay permanently with us. We can process our emotions and feel whole and great again and meet someone else and experience a shared life, what that means.
Don't you think, okay, I as always do on my podcast, using myself as example, from my experience, so nobody can complain I spoke with somebody else. The one thing I realized in my life, very late in my life, every time after breakup, I will run straight away into a relationship with somebody else, which I think is wrong, right? You need to supposed to get that distance between relationships. I don't say like 6 years or 16 years or whatever it is, but you need to allow yourself to heal, right, from previous relationship, because I know that every time I'll bring the luggage from previous relationship into a new one, so eventually that will be like a storage behind me, and full of my bullshit stories, my lies, my disappointments, everything else I bring into next relationship, marriage, and then you think yourself, what I'm doing actually? Actually I'm clogging everybody around me that can't deal with all that, luggage I bring it with me, instead of I supposed to stop and heal. Do you believe that we, after breakup, because you're coach for dating and the breakup, with all seriousness, what takes do we heal from relationship we just come out? Let's just say, if I can ask you from your experience as a woman to woman.
We need to, so I think we can do both. I think we can wait a while if we need to, and I think we can be ready to start again as well.
I talk about all women now listening, so just I'll say to us women to women. So
if you if you process your feelings and the negative meanings from that relationship,
Yeah.
if you know who you are, if you have a lot of people in a long-term relationship, they lose their identity. This is what happened to me in my marriage. I was with the same man for 15 years and I molded and transformed. I wasn't being authentic. I didn't know. I was trying to fit in. I compare myself to him a lot in my marriage.
Yeah.
You know, that was what 2005. So how
Last century. Okay.
2015. Sorry.
Oh, okay, this century.
this century, yeah, century. So, when I divorced, I was completely lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was meant to be doing. I was working a 9-to-5 job. It was actually a part-time job because my son was really young. I was a single mother in this country. I didn't know what to do, who I was, what was I meant to be doing from here. I thought I'm going to be getting married and die with the same person. And when that didn't happen, it contradicted my vision and my belief. And I was like, oh, so yes, I did need a time alone in that situation. But just time in itself doesn't heal. We need to process what has happened.
Yeah.
So but if you are in a relationship and you have your identity, you know who you are, you know what you're about, you have a life outside the relationship, then it's no problem for us to really put ourselves out there again, as long as you're not going on a date to talk about your ex. You have a life. You have goals, you have plans, you continue to go. The breakup, right? The feelings from a breakup can take a month, 3 months, a year, or 15 years. If you're not processing them, if you're not processing your feelings, that sadness and hurt is not going to go by itself.
I ask, well, as we speak about this, I ask Holy Grail of the knowledge, Dr. Google.
What's Dr. Google saying?
Yeah, so ask why people fall out of love, like a relationship. He says declining communication, unresolved conflicts, emotional neglect, loss of intimacy, and shifts in priorities or values. They are all related, according to me, my understanding, I'm not a doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist. Everything's related on emotional level. Even intimacy is emotional, right? People fall out of the love for this reason that Dr. Google says. But then nobody says how to heal. And I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, Cristina Davy, I'm going to put the comment section below the Cristina details so you can contact her and, either you want a date or you're going to the breakup, speak with Cristina. But my question is, how to heal? How to heal? Some people take a drink, some people take drugs, some people become quiet, some people become depressed. How to heal after breakup? I asked you for the friends first.
Understanding what you're feeling. Understanding what you're feeling and what got you to feel that way makes a big difference. Every emotion we are experiencing is because we had a thought of some sort. That we have the thought and then we feel an emotion. So being present with our emotions. What am I feeling? Am I sad? Am I ashamed? And am I feeling guilty? Am I angry? Am I... what is it that I'm feeling? I'm feeling depressed,
yes.
right? And process what you're feeling and the thoughts that got you there, and then you feel empowered, right? If I'm relating to my breakup as, oh my gosh, I lost another relationship, and I lost this great man, and or she did this awful thing to me, or I was a victim, and then we take all of that and we take it with us in the next relationship and we project on the other people.
That's correct. Because see, there's a flip side of the coin. So ask Dr. Google again, why women falling out of love? And it gives me only 3 reasons. Decline in emotional connection, as with the general speaking male, female.
Yeah.
unmet needs, which is generic, I don't know what that means, maybe sex, maybe money, or a shift in priorities. My question is for every man out there, no women. Now talk to me not as my friend, but talk to me as if I'm the coach. What men need to pick up the signals that woman, she's losing interest to be in a relationship with him?
She's shutting down. She's shut down.
I see. Don't do this to me. Like everybody said this to me. Like
Shutting down. Shutting down means I'm avoiding you. I'm not making eye contact. I'm talking only the very little basis. You know. I would rather be somewhere else than here. So shutting down means I don't really want to deal with you right now. Don't touch me, don't talk to me. No, that's it. So what happens in that moment is we stop communicating to the other person, hey, what I need from you, like can I give you a practical, like an example? Yeah. So I remember asking my partner to come with me at
rob the bank.
No, it was a funeral of my former mother-in-law, and he said, it's not my place there, why would I come? And I said, well, I would like for you to come, you know.
You pay respect to your partner, yeah.
Because just as my partner, and he felt uncomfortable about it, right? So I felt upset because I wanted him to be there, but I didn't express to him why I wanted him to be there. So I was rushing, you know, getting dressed, and I was going to leave. And then I stopped and I just realized I'm shutting down. I'm shutting down because instead of telling him what I'm feeling and being vulnerable and asking for what I need from him, you know, I was just avoiding. I was getting upset and having a fight with him in my head, not a communication with him.
In your world here,
in my head. I'm like, blah, 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 you always blah, 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 right? So I stopped and I turned around, and with a soft voice, I start explaining to him, sharing with him why I wanted him to come. And I said, I just realized how much this woman meant to me. I actually didn't even realize until this moment. And I feel like I was disconnected from my feelings about losing her. And now it finally hit me, and I feel like I want to cry, and I would love for you to be there for me, driving the car, so I can be present with my emotions and I can, you know, just be, because right now I'm just so focused on losing her that it's hard to be strong. So I want to be having you next to me, holding me in this moment. It took him 5 minutes to be ready, and he came because he understood, but it took me to open up instead of choosing to open up and share with him vulnerably, not from like, you never come with me, or
oh my God, you look
oh,
scary.
you're so selfish. You know what I mean? Very different approach, yeah? So he was there, and I was so happy he came because I felt so supported and loved in that moment, you know, and it made him feel good that he was there for his woman. So he actually brought us closer, you know, and it took our relationship to the next level. You know, it's like drip, 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 all the little things, you know, and I was very appreciative for him, you know, because I know, especially because I know it wasn't easy for him. But we don't always know how to share in a way that the other person can understand. It's not about them, it's about us, you know. If I'm coming to ask you something, I'm experiencing something that's completely different to what you're thinking. So you're only going to know if I share with you. I hope this explains the shutting down.
Okay, I do now. I'm just thinking from my past, you know, I mean, I think the man should listen women more rather than just be doing our own, you know, I mean, whatever.
We're so different. We are so different,
So
Mario.
different, but so similar.
Yeah, but we are so different, the way how we approach things, and what a man how a man experiences a situation can be so different compared to a woman. We relate in different ways based on our programming, how we were brought up.
So what are we doing wrong? Okay, again, when a relationship goes down to hill, my advice to everybody is like, if something goes down, just
Let it go.
let it go, push it,
Push it.
push it stronger,
Faster.
faster. Yeah, that's me, right? But then I have the people around me who's like, my wife, she's buy the new lingerie. It's like, how lingerie is going to save your marriage? You know what I mean? It doesn't make a sense for me, but that's okay, right? I mean, so obviously they have no sex regularly, whatever it is. What is your take as a dating coach when the people face that obstacle, that relationship becomes so, I can't explain, so difficult for both sides? What do you suggest to do? To come to you, to talk to you, both of them? Do you talk to couples or just
I think
individuals?
it's important. I think it's important to try conversation together, just the two of you initially, and see how you can navigate it. But if you're not getting any further, if you're not making progress, definitely ask for help, 100%. But honest conversations is what needs to happen. Transparency, but without accusing and blaming, which is very hard.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like it's always the blaming
hard.
game. You know what I mean?
It's we fall into blaming, and it has to do, because look, I'm trying myself. I'm not perfect. I let pigeons out all the time, but it's important that we own it as well. If we say something and the other person has the awareness to realize, hey, I'm feeling my boundaries are crossed here, or hey, these are my standards and this is not meeting my standards right now, and it's causing me to feel conflicted about this. So the awareness makes a big difference, understanding what's happening there, and asking, being curious to understand the other person, because if they react in a certain way, they react because of what's happening here.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's because of what they're telling themselves, not exactly what happened. We are all perceiving a situation in a different way. You might think it's nothing, and the other person might think like, oh my gosh, this is like the end of our relationship. Because we value different things. And because one person thinks, oh, this is nothing, and the other person thinks, oh my God, this is the end of a relationship, and the person that thinks this is nothing doesn't do anything about it, then the other person feels like a victim. Oh, he doesn't care, or she doesn't care, or whatever. For me, sometimes it can be just you want different things.
Okay, now after, let's just say, a situation where the woman takes everything from the man.
That's your experience. You speak from experience now.
Yeah, like was only two, but that's some things which they hold me back. You know what I mean? Because I felt, and I was not adequate for that person. You know what I mean? And comes to that blame game, and somehow I always ask myself, how did I become from the loved one to the most hated person? You know what I mean? In the speed of light. But then I said to myself, then I realized actually after a few of my breakups, I say, I'm here crying me a river, you know what I mean, snobbing, and everything, life is over. You're laughing, right? But it's true. But then I said to myself, but she's enjoying life, you know what I mean? She has a fun, she has everything. Then my own conclusion was, I said like, okay, after breakup, every man does wrong thing, and that is to begging for forgiveness. He want to go back into good books and crying and begging, and the list goes on. That's a turn off. That's me, as a Mario Bekes says, right? So I said to myself, okay, let's go stop, let's go reconsolidate my own ranks, do something that's a necessary, be involving partner, right? Well, time passes by, but thing it is, I think that rejection it's our biggest enemy in every relationship, either at the start or somewhere at the end. Now, you as a love coach, I call love coach, we need to raise our dating standards, right? That's
100%.
That's where you are standing. So
Yeah.
like my question is like, when do you step in a scene, when the people choosing you? Is that's when they say like, okay, I need to raise my dating standards, not being in relationship with the psychopaths like I was. No, I know you're funny, but that's what it is. So how we raise these standards? How do you raising our standards in relationships? Sorry, in dating, not relationships.
I'll give you an example of a lady I spoke with on Saturday. I had a private call with her, and she was getting treated really badly by men. Ignored, ghosted, just it started well and then will just always end up bad, right? And then she'll get angry, and then it was going downhill from there. So I showed to her through our conversations and the questions that I asked and some insights, things that I point out to her. I show her how she was participating to that dynamic unconsciously.
Okay.
Right? And the way she was doing in this particular case, it can be many reasons, but many ways, right? But with her, she was constantly trying to give to a man. She was constantly trying to do something for him, constantly trying to...
oh, that's wrong with the men. No, we men... Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Please continue.
So the man was just like receiving, and she was this person that was constantly giving. So the man didn't have to do anything to earn her, you know what I mean? To feel like lucky that he has her, right? So she didn't have that awareness.
Okay.
All she had was this experience. All these men that I met all my life are just, they're not showing up the way I need them. They are not doing what I need them, and they're all assholes. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
They're all like just ignoring me, and they all make promises and nothing happens. And then I'm having sex with them, and then they just go. So she was feeling used. But who let them?
See, thing it is like I should defend the male, population here.
You don't need to, because I wasn't accusing them of anything.
No, but the truth it is like we as a man we need a challenge. We need a challenge in a positive way. Like I'm saying again, I use myself as example, right? What we losing in a relationship is sort of like this self-respect for some things. As you're saying, you will try to fit yourself. That's what you said in a marriage, right? Where you can fit yourself. That's what we do, and that's I truly believe that successful relationship requires a lot of attractions. In terms of talking to each other. Go for drinks. You can see these things before you commit yourself into. You invest yourself emotionally, because after all, I think the emotional scars are biggest ones and the hardest to heal. And but we need to raise our standards in dating, as you said. Older we become, we need to know what we truly want. One observation when you talk about apps. I never been on Tinder, I never will be, but I'm just saying, doesn't matter what we see there on a Tinder. It looks like a catalog. It's like everybody portray themselves in the best light possible. Reality is, it can be sometimes the road to the hell. It's parted with the good intentions. That's what I say. Now, when somebody calls you, what do you do? How do you help them to find that high standard? To find the right person? How do you already know who's going to match with who? Like, you know what I mean?
Asking the right questions. So asking questions when they share the stories. I'm listening to the story, but what I'm looking for is patterns, strategies, blind spots that they're not seeing, right? And again, I walk the path. I've been there, so I've been through a divorce, I've been through a toxic relationship, I've been through domestic violence, I've been through a loving relationship as well, right? So I'm bringing not just my own personal experience, but what I have learned and read, and been certified through, as a coach. And so my knowledge, my awareness and experience is my currency. So when somebody comes to me with their story, I sit down and based on everything that I know, I look for what could be the shift that this person can do to actually have the results that they want. So I ask them what they want. I ask them what they have done up until now and how they've been doing it, right? And then I know what are the gaps and what we need to put in the gaps to make a bridge. So identifying and helping them understand how their own belief system, how certain behaviors, like with this woman I was just telling you, the fact that she was overgiving and doing all this stuff for the man, and then he just didn't need to do anything. It was just like whatever, or with a man. I spoke with a man last week, and he and this is a big tendency for men to rescue a woman. To get a woman that needs rescuing, right? Instead of a woman that can sit on her own feet and he can be useful, right?
That's we men love to do this. We love to save the women.
That's how you build emotional. Yes, that's how you build emotional attraction, by being able to give to a woman, which is why independent women struggle to attract a man, because they don't need a man. But a man that doesn't feel appreciated for what he brings with him, he won't stick around. So we need to welcome a man's help, input, in order for him to develop, to feel useful, to feel like he can contribute, he feels like he's making a difference, and therefore that creates emotional attraction. So independent women that go like, I don't need a man, have a hard time to attract a man, because men are like, yeah, she's great and she's pretty and she's very independent and yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, like she looks good, I could have her once, but there's no connection, because he can't connect with a woman that doesn't need him.
Okay, now that leads me to a question now. What is the 2 or 3 traits women look in men or men look in women?
A woman in a man, leadership.
Okay.
Leadership.
Okay.
I can't say the word. Being reliable.
Reliable, yeah.
And
have a lot of money.
Confidence. Confidence.
Yeah.
So leadership, he's taking initiative, right?
Yeah.
He's coming in with solutions.
Yeah.
Being reliable, like, hey, if I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. A woman doesn't need to go back to ask him 100 times. You know
what? You just defending women. I understand. That's okay. It's okay. So what?
No, I'm not defending. No, I'm going to talk about men too.
Yeah,
I guess it's easier because I can relate to it. Yeah. And confidence, it's building trust that you can hold us, you can hold me, you can hold us. So I'm trusting. That's what's bringing. And men, I'm sorry if I gave the impression that I'm defending women, because it's definitely not my intention.
But you're a woman. You should defend a woman. I mean, that's okay.
I'm defending men too, because I think men are misunderstood.
We're gonna hear it now. Okay. So what he's looking in her?
Appreciation, respect.
Okay.
And affection.
Affection. That's
And a bit of sassiness, a bit of like.
Seductive.
Yeah, a bit of a bad girl.
Bad girl.
A bit of a bad girl. If you're just too much of a good girl, nah. It's like having cake it's like having cake and it's really good, but it's like this
Yeah,
much cake that you can have, you know. We need a little bit of sassiness, you know, a little bit of like, and that's definitely something that I think a man is looking. What do you think? What are you looking for in a woman?
No, I don't look nothing. I'm the different, you know. I mean, I'm the different man. So this is, you know, I think when I was watching last season of the Muffs, which I really enjoy watching because you know I was very curious about what they're looking this, you know what I mean. But then again, when you see the age of participants, you know what I mean, there's a certain age group which is like up to 40. It's all about attraction, seduction. You know what I mean, it's you know that good looking, everything else. Most of men can't handle the woman with the kids, you know, from previous marriage or relationship. Then all the guys, which I feel sorry for that girl. You know, what I mean, she was a little bit overweight, and he was looking type of the porn star. You know, what I mean, look like whatever it is. And then I think myself like, but nobody was looking at it to be happy. The happy, you know what I mean? Like I think that in my case, I say like, you know, being happy it's a most valuable thing in life. You know what I mean? And wake up in the morning. And I don't need to worry about, you know, about any other issues in my life except, you know what I mean, that I'm happy in my life, you know. Is my girlfriend or is my wife or it's my kid or it's my health, you know what I mean? But I'm surrounded with a man. And I said like, you know, when I was in Thailand, I was a little bit naive. I must say naive. I'll say naive, you know, because I didn't know what to expect in Thailand, you know what I mean? But of course, people love this exotic type of whatever challenges, right? And I said to myself, it's good, looks like good on the paper, but in reality, it's totally different because when you pay for the sex, right, or that exotic things, whatever they are, you know, there's certain risks in life, which I'm not prepared because I love to sleep peacefully, right?
You value your health more.
That's correct. Yeah, that's number one. Secondly, you know, when you walk into the nightclubs, all these places where we went, every of this lovely lady, she says, you know, this is my WhatsApp. You know, when you scan the code. I'm like, no, no interest in these things. But people love to look these challenges, those thrills. There's a cheap thrills which cost a little bit later.
I mean, it depends what you're looking for. And again, people don't always have awareness around what's really important to them. One thing that I wanted to add to the list of what men are looking into a woman is actually, and a lot of men don't know what that is radiance.
Radiance. What is radiance?
It's like, exactly.
Oh, sorry, don't ask it for the friend, you know. Of course I know.
Exactly. So radiance is like being alive.
But
a woman that brings the energy with her in the room and you feel her presence. You know she's there. When she comes into and she's around, her energy is impacting you somehow. Her radiance is what's going to speak. You know, the way how she's carrying herself, the way how she speaks, the way how that cheeky confidence she has, but softness as well, and warmth and affection. And so radiance in simple ways is just her energy, her presence, what she brings. And that's what you notice in a woman from the distance. You don't need to talk to her. You could just look from the distance, because you're going to see a woman that's really, she might have a perfect body, perfect hair, perfect everything, and you might want to shag her, you know, but she's not going to talk to you in a way that you want to.
Oh, look, I think the conversation is a big one, because you know when you say like, what her looks in him, leadership, reliable, confidence. Tell you something what's happened to me, and we're gonna laugh. So I wanted to date this lovely lady, and you know, I mean, we start going out together. It was okay. I really fancy her, really like her, and everything else. And you know, I put in my hand on her ass, and she says to me, "Don't do this in public." I say, "Let's go hold her hands." No, I don't want to do this. So I was being a little bit mentally challenged at that moment, because I was pissed off, you know what I mean? Because I was being thrown in my face things I never expected from a woman to say to me that how old I am, you know, how I can be who I say I am, you know what I mean? I was working then in intelligence. And I'm like, but just want to hold your ass. You know what I mean? That's wrong. It's like, hold your hand. So for her was embarrassment to do this, particularly telling me like, I can't believe it that you're working in foreign intelligence, you know what I mean, and you're doing these things. Like, how old you are? I'm like, where have you been when I was in a war? Like, you know what I mean, nobody asked me those things. So I took a big step back, right? And I said to myself, what is wrong with me? I questioned myself, what's wrong with me that I can't ask to hold a hand, right? Now maybe things have changed. But that stage, I said to myself, something is wrong with me. So I was convinced myself that something's wrong with me. But then I said to myself later on, so nothing's wrong with me. I mean, I'm the retard one way or another. I'm a little bit behind my generations. But thing is, I missed a lot in my life because I was in a war at age 18. Some things I never experienced in my life. But then I think myself, now the people missing holding hands. Interesting, you know what I mean? So like, leadership, reliable confidence, and he looks in her radiance. Okay, I need to do this. Being alive.
So I think another thing that we need to understand is that people have different rules.
Yeah.
And we are not, when we date someone, we are not aware of the rules. We haven't spoke about it yet. Yeah. People don't share standards as a, when we share, hey, I have a podcast studio, where I do podcasts with people. Yeah. And somebody could be like, oh, wow, great, well done.
I know,
and
thank
that's
you.
it.
Thank you. Okay, that's all.
But what made you decide to do this? What is it about that? What is it about that made you decide?
This is a question, real question for me.
But no, this is how you get to understand people's values and people's rules. When you ask more about one thing rather than just stop at the surface. So when somebody's sharing something with you, and try to understand why they're doing what they're doing, because this is how you get to know them. If you just go like, oh yeah, that's great, then you just know a fact about that person. But you're not understanding the person. If you share why I decided to, like, I love that you started this with, why I wanted to be a love duck, as you call me, right? And there's a reason, and that speaks to you. Like when I'm sharing that, then it helps you understand me, who I am as a person more.
Well, if I know, like, not if, I just said, like, generally speaking, I know why you started now. But when I do the business, or if I want to work with somebody or align my values with somebody, I need to be with a person who has similar values like me, not same. That means to be passionate about work, desire to make the world a better place, that's my values, But you are doing this, Cristina. And I say world owes you a lot because we live in a world full of the bullshit, I'm telling you, because one of my businesses is called Cheating Partners, as you know. So we're doing infidelity investigations. And it's symptomatic. You already know what's going to happen when somebody says to you, I want to check this and this. You already know what's going to happen. And I can't understand how the people sell something expensive for very cheap. Happiness, good marriage, relationship, for something very, very different. I'll give you an example, right? Every time when I see the man cheats on wife, the mistress, it's nothing as a wife. I couldn't understand why. Is I don't know.
Well, it's the novelty of it's the difference, is the variety.
Yeah.
In a relationship, if we don't have variety, we get bored.
You're advocating the cheating in a relationship. That's what.
Yeah. Cheating. One of the reasons cheating happens is because of boredom.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay, so question is like how to keep the relationship, because that was related to my question: when did people stop being intimate?
Yeah.
Having sex. So, so what you women need to do for us men to keep us entertained.
We don't need to do something for it.
Oh, come on, seriously, like, you know, like...
For you,
No,
we need to do things
I'm just
together.
joking, yes, yeah,
We need to do things together. So how can we spice our life? You know, how, like, you could decide to go and have sex, I don't know, on a dam. You know, or you could decide
But don't you think
to...
don't you think, let's go, I'll defend the male, you know, sex. So I can't believe I'm saying this to you, right? So again, I don't love to talk about my private life. Anyway, some of my experiences were like, you know, I will suggest something and she will say to me, oh, this is not this. But then she will do this with the other guy. You know what I mean? I said to myself, what's wrong with me? Maybe I was too fat. Maybe I was too many pimples.
No.
Something was, you know, I don't care.
Yeah, we don't need to do it about ourselves. It could be about them. Yeah, it is.
So how the partners exchanging that conversation, that keep intimacy, which is very important to people with intimate, you know what I mean? I'm not saying when you're 70 years old, but, you know, some reasonable time in your life.
Well, I'll go back to the holding hands with the lady, the situation with the holding hands.
Oh, my God. Like, she was, oh, God, man.
Some people have rules about you can only hold hands on the 5th date or something, right? Some people don't understand that in order to make progress, you need to also connect. And especially for a woman, she needs to connect emotionally in order to want more intimacy.
Okay.
So for men don't need that necessarily. They can, you know, and women have the capacity too as well, but just an average, a woman to open her legs or, you know, arms or spread, you know, she needs to feel connected, understood, valued. And
is that what the man missing to show that?
And that will help her open up.
Okay.
Now a man,
like a flower,
like a flower. A man, what does a man need to have sex?
Not
Not a lot. He's
come
ready.
on, don't be like this. Yeah,
He's
I mean,
ready.
like,
He's ready. A
Okay.
man, no, but it's anatomically, it's like that. You know, like a man can have a sexy thought and he's ready to go. A woman,
true.
A woman needs a bit more than that for her body to get prepared for receiving a man. It's look it up. Anatomically, we are different.
I'll ask Dr. Google. What is
ask. So again, I go back to we're different people. We have different rules. We have different upbringing. Understanding each other's rules, you know, like if you were to ask this woman, hey, can I ask, I'm just curious, you know, what's the problem with holding hands? You know, I find you...
I ask. Look, I ask. And that was not only once, you know what I mean, because I realized the position I was carrying then will have some type of the gravity, you know what I mean, and in sense of like you work for government service, you know, I was basically spied and you should have like a 007, all these things. But sometimes I call myself retard. I'm not retard, of course, but you know, I said to myself, maybe I missed all these things at age 18 when I went in a war to age 24 when the war finished. No holding hands, no having a relationship, you know what I mean. I want to die for that woman. I was 18 years old woman, the girl.
I remember the story.
Yeah, like, so, you know, those things. But I've been consistently humiliated in couple of relationships when I was, you know, I tried to be a little bit playful, holding my ass on her bottom, you know, hands, you know, pull for the hair, kiss, you know, these things. When I was told no, I was like, you know what, darling, not a problem. Enjoy life. Facebook says I was right because I can see the profile. And as my coach says to me, boxing coach Rodney, he says to Mario, your only contact with the human being is to the bunchy gloves. He said, that's not the way. But it's okay. Now, let me ask you a question before we do wind up. Can we find a true love in 2025?
100%.
Sounds like a show, TV show.
100%.
Christina, tell us.
Yes, we can.
For
Yes,
those who are looking for the true love,
yes, we can.
please.
100%. But we need to understand deep down what we need. We need to expose ourselves. We need to check on our approach and our point of attraction. We need to understand ourselves a little bit to understand why it's not happening for us. Why it hasn't happened up until now.
And how are you helping people
And we-
to do this?
We change, if it's the approach, we change the approach. If it's the point of attraction, we change the point of attraction. If there are beliefs, if somebody doesn't trust the opposite sex, it's going to make it very hard for them to connect with someone. If they don't
Okay.
connect, the interaction is like, blah. So you're not going to go very far. And somebody that's not trusting, their radiance could be shut down too, right? Or their confidence in case of a man, right? And if he's not confident enough, a woman will feel that and will be like, well, can he take care of me and my baby? Can he take care of us as a couple, right? Because she want to protect her. She wants someone who's stronger than her so she can relax in her feminine. She can be like, that like just like, hey, look at the clouds and, like let's just hold hands and all that. So we need to understand how to do it right. And it's not that it's just a one way, but it's just that we need to understand what is it that we want, what prevents us from getting there, and what's another way of doing it. So
I was observing you while you explained that we can find true love now. I know it now for the many years. And every time when I see you, you are always having a smile on your face. I know privately, when I say privately because we spoke off the record, off the camera, you face some obstacles in your life which then they are not easy, challenging, particularly my first interview 2 years ago with you. My question is, why do you believe in love? Why do you believe in humanity? Because you see that smile on your face. Not many people can do this. Most people will fake smile. Why do you believe in love?
I really truly believe we are love. I think we lose our way through what we are experiencing and how we are raised. So I met a gentleman that was brought up with parents that didn't know how to show him emotional cues. So he has no idea. He can't read people's emotions. And it's challenging for him to have relationships because he doesn't get it right. He keeps getting it wrong, So what does it mean? That he can't find love? No, it just means that he needs to learn. And it might take him a month or a year or 2 years, but he's determined to learn. And he's not quitting because it's important to him. So we are either programmed in a certain way or a killer is not born a killer. He becomes a killer.
That's correct, yes.
Based on what's happened to him and how he was raised and his perception of the world. And so there is good in every single one of us. I do believe that. And I do believe that we can do wrong things too at the same time. Again, it comes down to duality. But I can treat you right and respectful.
Yes.
Right? And you might do the same back or not. If you don't, I can just put a stop to it. I don't need to tolerate it. If I tolerate it, it means that I might think I'm deserving it. I don't know another way. I don't have the courage to put a stop to it, and I don't know how to. That's it.
I just want to say this loud and clear. I can't describe how proud I am of you. I am. Because what you're doing, it doesn't take only courage. It doesn't take just the energy, but desire to help other people. You're not a coach as many other coaches I know. You are making people's life better. And I always believe that. I remember when my father passed away, my mom stayed alone. I felt sorry for her because she was 16 years younger than my dad. And I said, man, she has a lot of years ahead of her. And she did another 12 years. But she pushed her health to the limits. She wanted to join him as soon as possible. But I know something from my experience when I see my son. There's such a good feeling that you know that there's somebody in your life there for you. Because we can be brave, we can be strong, we can be rich. But there comes the moment when we fall on our knees and we need somebody to love us the way we are. Cristina, thank you for being my guest today on Life the Battlefield. And thank you for making this world a better place. How the people can find you? Tell me.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I love talking to you.
Don't you get to cry. Don't you get to cry.
And I am on social media. I am on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Cristina with a C, no H. And a bit of Instagram and TikTok as well. Not quite out there yet, but doubling my feet in small steps. Yeah. But I'm a strong presence on Facebook and LinkedIn. And listen, you can always just reach me out via a phone, we're
going to put the conversation below your socials.
Email.
Yeah, so people can contact you.
I will get back to you. I truly believe love makes us better. And I believe that love comes in many forms. It doesn't have to be just through an intimate partner, but I think the intimate partner's love is different than anything else, and it's contributing to us getting to understand and know ourselves better and thrive.
The way you say this, that's I always make it a little bit joke on a Google side, Holy Grail of the Knowledge, Dr. Google. Google can't explain the way you are, where you did, and how you are seeing the love fits in our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Cristina Davy for Life the Battlefield. Deep breath.
We did it.
We did it. You can find true love in 2025. I'm going to put details how to connect with Cristina with C, not with H, and how she can help you to find your love of your life, or maybe help you with your breakout. Break up. And breakthrough. Breakthrough. Oh my God, like a breakout. Like
breakthrough or breakup.
Oh my God, like I was just like, look, it's just my head is spinning out. Ladies and gentlemen, Life the Battlefield. Thank you very much, Cristina, for being my guest.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.